Good morning all of you. My topic is the acoustic dispatch. We know that power system is one of the complex structure. In the power system, we have to optimize each and every factor like losses, cost, optimal power generation, what is the demand. We have to certify the demand also. So there are a number of techniques to provide the optimal operation of the power system. One of the most commonly used techniques is the acoustic dispatch. Acoustic dispatch basically consists of two parts, where the acoustics belong to the cost and the dispatch belong to the delivering of the or the dispatching of the generation. So that acoustic dispatch is said that is the delivering or the dispatching of the generation at the minimum cost. In the power system, we use the acoustic dispatch to determine the power generation so that it will provide the minimum cost while satisfying the demand across the market. Let us consider an example of thermal power station. In the thermal power station, basically the cost of the generation it depends upon the fuel. Fuel which we use in thermal power station are the coal. With increase in generation, the consumption of coal is increased, which can directly increase the cost. So, this is the characteristics of the input-output characteristics of the thermal power generation, which is between with on the x-axis it is the PGI, which is the real power generation, and on the y-axis is the fuel cost per hour. By using these input-output characteristics, we determine at what cost it provides at what amount of generation. By controlling the PG value, we can control the fuel cost. Similarly, the power system is not consist of only single one unit. It consists of two or more than two units. As the example given there, in this system we have the two units, PG1 and the PG2. Both of the units are connected with the load. By optimizing both of PG1 and PG2, we satisfy the load demand. We have to optimize PG and PG2 in such a way that our cost of the generation would be minimum. So, to optimize this system, we require some mathematical equation. The equation which can represent the relation between the fuel cost and the power generation PGI. This is a curve is shown there. It is in the form of determining the nonlinear relation between the PE and the fuel cost. So, if we convert this equation into a mathematical form, we can write it like that. First, for example, we have the two units PG1, PG2. For both of the units, we can write the equation F1 as the fuel cost, that is equal to A1 into PG1 plus P1 square plus B1 into PG1 plus C1. The PG1, PG2 is the real power generation that generated by the any thermal power station. A1, B1 and C1 are the fuel coefficient, where F1 is the cost per hour and value of PG1 and PG2 is in the megawatt. Similarly, for the second unit, we write it like that. F2 is equal to A2 PG2 square plus B2 PG2 and plus C2. So both of the units are determined the cost in the form of rupees per hour. So by using this equation, we can determine the fuel cost across the each unit. The most of the case, the fuel cost for the both units are the different for the same amount of generation PG1 and PG2. Why? Because of the characteristic equation, input-output characteristic equation for any two unit, it not be always same. It must be different. For example, the fuel cost, for example, this is the characteristic equation for the first unit. Similarly, the characteristic equation for the second unit, it may be like that. For this both of curve, we can see that for generation PG alpha, the fuel cost of the second unit is the minimum, whereas above the PG2, PG alpha, the fuel cost of first unit is the minimum as compared to the second one. So how we can manage the power sharing between the both of that? How we can efficiently divide the power demand between both of the units? We have to use some optimization techniques. There are a number of techniques which we have used. It has to be traditional technique or a non-traditional technique. The traditional techniques are Lagrangian method, Newton method or gradient method. Where the non-traditional techniques are generic algorithm, power system optimization and evolution algorithm. Which technique we have used for this system? It determines the mathematical model of the system. It is linear, non-linear, mixed integer type. To determine what type of a system, it depends on the type of the equation which we have used. It is linear, non-linear, type of constraint which we have used, it is linear, non-linear, and type of the variable which we have used. By considering all the factors, we can choose our proper optimization techniques. Let's consider a simple system. For applying the optimization techniques, we have required the three main factors. First one, we have to know about what is the objective function. Second one, we know about the constraint, which type of constraint we have to use. Third one, what are the variables which we have to change. So the three parts are, first one for the optimization, the three parts are, first one is the objective function, second one is the variable. Here the variable are the PG1 and PG2, because by varying this variable I controlling my fuel cost. So second one is the variable. Third one is constraint, which we have to satisfy it. So in Acome dispatch, our main goal, the main objective is to minimize the fuel cost. The fuel cost determined by the F1 and F2. So for a thermal power system, the total fuel cost is written like is sum of I equal to 1 to n. N is the number of units. In this case, I have only two units, F1 and F2. Algebraic sum is I from 1 to the n. The fuel cost is the Fi. By taking this sum, we can calculate the total fuel cost. Our objective is to minimize the total fuel cost. The second one is the variable. The variable are the PG1 and the PG2. The both are the variable, which optimum value we have to find out. Third one are the constraint. For this system, my constraints are the minimum and the maximum value of the generating unit. Every generation system has some minimum maximum value between which it provides the efficient operation. For example, there is the PG min and PG max. If we draw the input characteristics between these both of that, because between that range it provides the efficient operation. So the constraint for the PG1 and the PG2 are the P max I less than equal to the P max, it is P min I less than equal to the more than equal to PGI is more than equal to PG max, where I is the number of unit. In this case, I belongs to the 1 and 2. I have taken the 2 unit, so I belong to the 1 and 2. Second constraint, how much I will generate my power? It depends upon the power load. What is the load across the system? I have the 2 unit, this is the load. So I have to generate as much of the power so that I can satisfy my load demand. So the second constraint is the as the sum of PGI I equal to 1 to n, it should be equal to the load across the system. That means how much I have to generate the power, and we have to optimize what value? We have to optimize how I share the load between both of that. The sharing of load is known as load shedding, where we have transfer the load between PG1 and PG2 so that we can calculate a minimum cost Fi. Okay. Now it is a simple form. It not have the constraint are mostly a linear type. So we can use the one of the tidation technique. The one of most commonly used tidation techniques are Lagrangian method. The Lagrangian method So now come to the Lagrangian method. The Lagrangian method is one of the most commonly used techniques for the economic dispatch problem. In the Lagrangian method, we have calculated a Lagrangian factor, Lagrangian multiplier for this equation. So in the Lagrangian method, the equation is written like that: C bar is equal to C plus the sum of PGI minus PD into the lambda factor. This lambda is known as the Lagrangian multiplier, where the C is the value of C is equal to average sum of the fuel cost of all the generation I equal to 1 to n, which is my objective function here. PG minus PD are my equality constraint, which can be taken from this equation. PG is equal to P load. When we take it to this side, it's equal to the 0. Okay. For the Lagrangian method, we can take the derivative of the C bar. The C bar, by taking the partial derivative of the C bar with respect to the PGI, the equation is written like that. It is dC on dPGI plus lambda. With respect to the PGI, the output is 1 become 1. That's the 1. This factor becomes the 0. For determine the minimum cost, this factor must be equal to the 0. By equal to the 0, I can determine that the change in the cost dC upon dPGI, it is also known as the incremental cost, is equal to minus lambda, or by taking the lambda in the form of a positive value, I can add the minus here. So by taking the derivative, it becomes a plus. By taking the derivative of C of PGI, it's equal to the lambda. So the cost derivative, this is also known as the incremental cost. The incremental cost of all unit is equal to the lambda for the minimum optimal cost. For determining the minimum optimal cost, the incremental cost of all the unit is equal to the lambda. So we can, by applying this equation in both of this equation, we take the derivative with respect to PGI. So we can write this equation that by taking derivative, it becomes two is cancel out, it becomes 2 into A into 2, 2 into A2 into PG2. This becomes the 1 by taking a derivative, and this factor becomes the 0. So value of the both of the incremental cost must be equal to the factor lambda. The A1, B1 are the fuel coefficients which always be known. By putting the value of A1 and B1 and by putting the value of the P load, P load which is equal to P1, Pg1 plus Pg2. We can calculate the value of Pg1 and Pg2 easily. And this is the way we have calculated our Peconi dispatch for the thermal system. Thank you.